There is no guarantee for success, but there are ways to get closer to it when you do the right things. Who you surround yourself with is just as important as what you do. Finding the right people, the right classes, the right activities, and taking the right tests are all decisions that shape your future. Find out more today on Destination University with Dr. Cynthia Colon. Dr. Colon and her guests will give you the tips you need, whether you're a student, parent, or educator. Now, here is your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon.
You're listening to Destination University, a podcast for college-bound teens and the parents, mentors, and educators who support them. If that is you, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, TEDx speaker, college admission strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. Welcome to Destination University. We help high school families successfully navigate the college admission process by helping students create an action plan, become interesting applicants, and write compelling essays that increase acceptance letters. As a former admission officer at Vassar College and an elite private school counselor in Los Angeles, I have coached, mentored, guided, and worked directly with over 10,000 students. I know what it takes to get admitted to top 100 colleges. As my gift to you, I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide, 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can get that at drcynthiacolon.com/admit. In the guide, I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review an entire application. I give you the order I read the application, what I was looking for, what I highlighted and took note of. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are made, well, today is your lucky day. Again, go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit. Okay, let's get to today's episode.
Welcome to the Anatomy of a Successful Dream College Application. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon. We are so glad that you are here. So welcome and let's get going. You should know that there are 3 decisions in college admissions: where you apply, where you get in, and where you attend. When I say you, I actually am meaning your teenagers. So just understand that, okay? Just a reminder to mute yourself. So you have complete control over where you apply, and you have complete control over where you choose to attend. That seems obvious. But most folks believe that they don't have any control over where they get in, where they're getting admitted. And we're here to share with you some ways that you can have some more control over where you get in. It's all about managing your expectations, but it's also really maximizing your choices, which we'll get into. So there are typically 4 types of students. So I'm going to ask you to type into the chat which one you are. So let's start with the number 1 parent. The holy smokes parent. You applied 25 plus years ago and you're looking for all the help you can get because you don't know how it got so competitive. Yes, that's me. I think that's 8th grade. So this would be me. And I would say that was like 30 years ago. So you might be parent number 1. Parent number 2 is, we got this, now what? So maybe your teen has done everything right. They've taken all the right courses, they've been involved, they have some leadership, but they have at least one top tier college in mind. When we're talking about top tier colleges, we are talking about colleges that admit less than 35% of their applicant pool. And honestly, many of our students that we work with throughout the year are at least applying to one college that admits under 20%. So that's what we call dreaming big and top tier colleges. So you might be parent number 2. Parent number 3 is the, oh my goodness, please help me. I wish my kid was a little bit more motivated or studious or productive or organized, fill in the blank here. And that's my 4-legged son. And most of the time I do wish he was a little bit more studious. So that's parent number 3. Parent number 4 would have been my parents. That I've never done this before. I'm the firstborn, so this was their first rodeo. And they also were My mom is from Mexico, like she didn't attend college. My father did not attend college. So maybe you yourself didn't attend college, but you have that dream for your child. So this is the parent number 4. I've never done this before. So go ahead and type into the chat right now which number you are. And you might be at 2 of the numbers. So go ahead and let's see who we have in the room.
Hello. Hello. This is a Zoom about college stuff.
I am so excited to get home and have dinner. I'm so hungry.
Dana, can you read them?
Yeah, I'm going to figure out.
Okay, so Melanie, Dana, what do we see in the chat box?
Seems little of everything. You've got 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s.
Not too many 3s.
Okay, awesome. Well, you guys are definitely in the right place. Whatever one you are, it's a mix, and it's a mixed bag. So know that you are in the right place and know that you are not alone. Okay, are you ready to see 6 real applicants, real results? Type into the chat the number 1 if you are ready to rock and roll.
I'm gonna go to Home Depot. Okay.
I'm hungry. Can we hang out and have dinner?
Okay. Thank you, Dina. All right, here we go.
I keep up with them.
Let's start with Ryan. Meet Ryan. Ryan hails from Southern California, and this is a glimpse into his AQs, what we call your AQs, academic qualities. So you see here, this is what he took in his senior year. You see his test scores. Don't freak out. We're giving you sort of the best of the best, the creme de la creme. So you can shoot for the moon and land on the star, but this is Ryan's AQs. These are a bit of his PQs, what he did outside of the classroom. So you can see here, tennis captain, and there's a slew of things that sort of are related to each other and sort of in the medical field there. You see he's a church leader. So you've got some extra PQs there. What we call the coolness factor, something that helps him, makes him stand out. So he's the founder of the STEM club, the co-founder of the medical club. And then he has this interest in Latin. Not too many teenagers take Latin, not too many schools even offer Latin. So that is a little bit of his coolness factor. Take a look, I'll just give you about 30 seconds to read a piece of his personal statement. Okay. Okay, so that's a piece of that, and we'll give you a piece of his supplemental essay. So go ahead and read a little bit of what's on the page, skim it. You won't be able to get through all of it, but I want to give you a sliver. Okay, so that is Ryan. Here's where Ryan was admitted. Again, he's from Southern California, and he was admitted to all the biggies in California, USC, UCLA, Berkeley, San Diego, and Santa Barbara. I think he was admitted almost everywhere he applied. He earned some merit dollars, and he wanted to major in public health. Let's move on to Juliana. Juliana hails from New York. There you go, you guys. This is her AQs. These are her AQs, what she took in her senior year. You can see her test scores there. Okay. Those are her AQs. Her PQs, her personal qualities. You see what she did outside of the classroom and how she was involved in her community. And then we see Juliana's coolness factor. What sort of sets her apart? What was different about her? And she was a competitive dancer for 7 years. And even after she decided to sort of switch out and move on and focus on school, she continued her love of dance as a team captain at school and also taught dance. This is a piece of her personal statement. Go ahead and read what's on the page. Okay. I know, it's quick. I'm going to give you a glimpse into one of her supplemental essays that she wrote in camp. Melon, that might be you. You want to mute yourself?
Yep.
Here's Juliana, and here is where she was admitted. Again, she's from New York. She attended a public school. She's now a freshman at Cornell. I should have said that Ryan is a freshman at UCLA. You see that she wanted to major in nutritional science, which is where the nice little baking essay came in. We're going to move on to Charlie. Charlie is from Southern California. And here's a look at his senior year. Lots of APs there. You see sort of a theme going on. I pointed out his math score, and he took the subject exam, math 2, with 790. So you see there, you see where we're going, right? Engineer types. Then you look at the PQs, and that also seems to make sense. Robotics camp, Notre Dame summer scholars, lots of things. And he's the founder of Charged Bikes, which is his coolness factor. He builds custom electric bikes. What? Right? Super cool. That is his coolness factor. And we helped him really figure that out and write about that in his personal statement. So go ahead and read what's on the page.
Troy, come here.
I've got my phone out because I'm keeping track of the time here, trying to give you about 30 seconds, which I know is not completely enough time. Here's a piece of his supplemental statement, supplemental essay. Go ahead and read what's on the page. Here is where Charlie was admitted. Charlie was admitted to a number of places that he applied early in the process, but he ultimately applied early to Notre Dame University and was admitted. So he withdrew the rest of his applications. He wanted to major in mechanical engineer, and obviously that made sense. He was building custom bikes, so it made sense his application was complete that way. We're going to move on to Asose. Asose hails from Southern California as well. This is what she looks like in her senior year. And you're going to look, there's 2 students tonight of the 6 that did not submit test scores. Of course, California is test blind, and many of our colleges across the country are test optional. So she chose not to submit testing. Here's a look into her personal qualities and what she's involved in outside of the classroom. And then her coolness factor, how she pivoted during COVID. She started a jewelry business. She's a voracious reader, and she also helps with her brother who is autistic. Take a look at what's on the page. More seconds. Then we'll take a look at her supplemental, one of her supplemental essays. This is another essay she wrote as well. Again, just pointing out that she did not submit testing. And let's take a look at where she was admitted. So she was admitted to a number of places, UCLA, Princeton, Brown, and other places as well. She earned over $256,000 in merit aid, and she's currently a freshman at Princeton. Did I say where Charlie? Yes, Charlie's at Notre Dame. So there you go. All right. Let's meet Ashley. Ashley is also from Southern California. This is what she took in her senior year. She too did not submit test scores. So take a look at her AQs. Then we take a look at her PQs. It's clear she's an athlete. She's a star athlete, really. And she also works the family business. Her coolness factor is she's at least a 3-sport athlete every single year. She's raised $7,000 plus for Homework House, and she's committed to early literacy. This is her personal statement. Okay. And we'll take a glimpse into one of her supplemental essays here about Homework House. Okay. Just to point out again, Ashley was one that chose not to submit test scores, and she was admitted nearly everywhere she applied as well. I don't think any of these students were admitted to every single place they applied, but she really, I think, won the lotto. She's currently a freshman at UCLA, and she was admitted to Notre Dame as well, and Oberlin and other places. She earned over $1 million in merit aid. This is Ashley's a good example of applying to a wide range of schools that will pay for her to come to college because she's so desirable, and all the way to the most competitive schools. And finally, we're going to meet Curtis. Curtis hails from Washington, D.C. These are his AQs. He's a little bit different of a student. He was dual enrolled in high school and in college as well. And so this is a bit what he took in his final year. You see his test scores there. This is a bit of his PQs. He was involved in a number of different things. You can see sort of the STEM focus there, robotics and Black engineers. And then for Fun Capoeira, which I think was super cool. And then he's involved in a number of community-based organizations. We call those CBOs. His coolness factor, he's an aspiring paleontologist, speaks Mandarin, and was an exchange student in China. Here is a bit of a piece of his personal statement. I'll give you two more of essays that Curtis wrote. So here's another supplemental. This is one of the supplemental essays. Take a look. And finally, one more supplemental essay. I think these were all submitted for Yale. Okay, so I know you want to know where he got in. Let's take a look at where Curtis was admitted to. Curtis, he was not admitted everywhere, I will say that, but he did also win the lotto for sure. So he earned over $1 million in merit aid. He also is a good example of applying to a wide range of schools. He is currently a freshman at Florida A&M, where he received a full tuition, room and board, fully paid scholarship. So there you go. Okay, so here comes the big quiz for everyone. And in the chat box, what I want you to type right now, you can answer any one of these questions, but what do you remember? What did you learn? What sticks? So even if it's just one phrase, one sentence, a name of a student that you remember, share with us something you remember from any of these students.
We've got someone remembers the electric bikes. Someone remembers students that did not submit test scores. Most of them were in the STEM field. Someone remembers Ashley, a SOSE, dance instructor, high GPAs, electric bikes. They remember all the activities that the kids were in, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, awesome.
The essays were conversational. Thank you, Rolita.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. So a couple things that I want to point out. So we're going to sort of pause here for a second, and so I can see you guys. See you. A couple things. So you want to take note that I would say all of these essays, certainly most of them, we always say to the student that you should write the essay that only you could write. That is what we mean by authenticity. So when you look at Ryan's essay about, where he grew up in a mostly Latino community, and he's Vietnamese, you read the story about the bikes and how she has a father who, couldn't teach her how to ride a bike. These are essays or essays that nobody else could write. So being vulnerable in your essay is really key. The second thing that you guys picked up on is their activities. It's true, I hate to say that most of them are STEM majors, but that's just the luck of the draw. We asked a wide range of students if we could share their entire application and let me basically have a copy of their application. So these are the students that happen to say yes to that. We have another one who was Greek, classics, and mathematics, and she earned a great scholarship as well. But if you look at the activities and look at what they want to major and look at what they wrote about, it all is tied together. So we often talk about how will you connect the dots for your reader. So you want to make it really easy for your reader, the admission person that's reading the whole application, to go, yes, they say they want to be a doctor. That makes sense because of this, and then this, and then this, and then this. So you want to say what you mean and mean what you say, and show evidence of that in your application. So whether you want to be a historian or a politician, you want to major in Greek, in classics and mathematics, which she wanted to do, it made sense. She was taking Latin and started the Latin club, stuff like that. Okay. So say what you mean what you say, and show the evidence of it. All right, let's go ahead and move on. The other reason I like to do this exercise is because literally minutes after you've just read 6 applicants, you could barely remember like a sentence. Am I right? And that's how we, as admission folks, we would read 25 to 40 applications a day, depending on where you worked, and you maybe would remember 2. So you got to make yourself stand out. All right, very briefly and quickly, 5 reasons the essays are so important these days. First one is you get the admission person reading your application is going to have 6 to 12 minutes to read your application, your entire application. and take notes on that application. And then for me at Vassar College, I would present that information in about 60 seconds. And then the committee would vote with a red, a yellow, or a green index card. That was it. Majority ruled the day. We were a team of 7, if I remember correctly. So 4 votes, any color. That was the decision, period. Number 2, the essays are meant to help maximize your choices. The essays are meant to just have one goal: to be interesting, engaging, and compelling. So if you can really capture those 3 things, then you're going to help your reader stay engaged in your application instead of thinking about what they're going to eat for lunch, literally, okay? Point number 3 is that we cannot rely on grades and test scores alone. First of all, in the state of California, we're test blind for our public institutions, so they don't even accept test scores at all. So I want you to keep in mind the quantifiable data in your folder, typically grades and test scores of some sort, your GPA. That is what gets your foot in the door. That's what just gives you the luxury of applying to competitive schools. So just also keep in mind that you will graduate with 8 semesters of grades, but you will apply to college with 6 semesters of GPA. So really understand, for those of you, if I think there's a few of you that are younger than senior year, that's why they say junior year is so important. So really just keep that in mind. So AQs get your foot in the door, the PQs get you admitted. Point number 4 is really getting to the point sooner. We really teach in our camps and our workshops that every word is high real estate. So we write the way we speak, that we take a long time to sort of get to the core, the golden nugget. And so you really want to just find a way to have someone help you cut and trim all the extra stuff that's not necessary. And then a word about the UC application. Please remember that the UC application does not accept teacher or counselor letters of recommendation. So the student has to be his or her own advocate in those 4 short essays. So it's really important, high real estate. Point number 5 is you've got to forget what you know. This is not an English paper. This is not a research paper. You're not writing a thesis statement and supporting evidence. That's not what this is. This is a sliver of your life, a window into your soul. That's it. And so that takes a particular way of writing that we don't typically teach in schools. So you have to sort of abandon what you know and really start fresh to share your narrative. We believe in 4 types of essays that every college-bound teen needs in their arsenal. You can screenshot this if you'd like, but it's the who am I, the what am I good at, something is super cool about me, and the future connection. If you can have essays or answers to these questions and really know yourself inside and out, you're going to be really good. I'm going to scare some of you right now, sorry in advance, but we don't have, our 5-day essay camps that are in the summer, students leave with between 4 and 8 essays. You know how many you need? Students need anywhere between 8 and 38 essays. What? Dr. C, what are you talking about? It just depends on how many colleges they're applying to that have supplemental essays. So again, we encourage everybody to have this arsenal of essays ready to go, the core 4, so that you can retweak and repurpose your answers to fit all of the essays that they have to write. So you're not starting from scratch. Okay, so type into the chat box the number 1 if you're ready to learn a little bit more about what it might mean to have an essay coach, especially if you're a class of 22 or 23. So, with your permission, I'm going to share a little bit about sort of what we do and how we might be able to help. Good?
Yep, they're ready to go.
All right, awesome. And then we'll be able to do Q&A in just a minute. And actually, just so you know, I won't call them out, but there are some parents on here that have students who've already done the camp. So it's all about, do you need or want an essay coach? And I always say, like, we get coaches for anything that we're wanting to improve on, anything that has high stakes and high value to us. And certainly this is about your son, daughter's happy future. So an essay coach is perfect for students who are overachievers, there are a lot of students who are going to just go for perfection over process. So we find that those students tend to spend hours upon hours more than they need to if they just got a coach that helped them at the front end and front load what is working and what is not working. Number two, the doer who just wants to get it done already. That would have been me. Like, I'm also the procrastinator, but I just want to get it done. Pull off the Band-Aid. Give a teenager 5 months, 5 weeks, 5 days, or 5 hours to get something done. And that's how long they'll take to do it. Am I right? Can I get an amen? So the doer that just wants to get it done. The dreamer who wants to stand out and they understand they're, among thousands. So the 6 students I showed you tonight, they're not special. They're not curing cancer. They're not Olympians. They're normal students, just like your kids who had the wherewithal to sort of do all the right things to get their foot in the door, but then they really put in the time in their essays to make themselves stand out. So understanding that Asose was one of many great applicants at Princeton. Hello. Juliana was one of many great applicants at Cornell. They all look like her with those grades and their co-curriculars, right? So it's really about how to share your narrative. And then number 4 is the procrastinator that has smart parents, parents who don't want to be the one to nag and worry about getting it done.
Here's the truth. For nearly 30 years, I have worked at elite private colleges and/or private high schools. I know what well-resourced families do to ensure college success. And I can tell you, if your child is enrolled at a public or religious high school, chances are she or he is already 5 steps behind. However, today is your lucky day. To get you ahead of your private school peers, I have a gift for you. I'm revealing the exact admission committee process we used at Vassar. It's all in my new guide. 4 questions admission officers ask when deciding who to admit or reject. You can go to drcynthiacolon.com/admit to get your copy. I share the 4 questions I used in the 12 minutes I had to review the entire application. If you've ever wondered what admission officers are looking for and how decisions are actually made, you're not alone. Take action now to get 5 steps ahead and begin increasing those acceptance letters. Again, that's Dr. Cynthia Colon, drcynthiacolon.com/admit. That is all I have for you today, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to Destination University. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon. If this episode has in any way helped, fueled, or inspired you, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. You can subscribe to Destination University wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, leave us a review. It sure does help a lot. By subscribing and reviewing, you help to grow the community of informed families across the nation. And if you haven't binge listened to our previous seasons, do it. With each episode, you'll learn a new tip, trick, or strategy for success. Start with episode 1, the one word every parent should remove. You'll learn my mom's secret to ensuring college success for her daughters. And once again, if you found value today, please share this episode with 3 families in the next 30 minutes. I'll be sure to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for listening this week to Destination University. Be sure to join Dr. Cynthia Colon again and get one step closer to your success.